5 years ago, when I first started working out in the gym, these are the tips and tricks that I wish I knew that would help me along my process and make it way easier and skip that whole learning curve phase.
Chosen. Shit.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Coach Johannah, certified personal trainer, nutrition coach, and we are merging all things faith and fitness on this channel. So expect to see faith-based vlogs, workouts, and all things fitness because we are on a mission to create a stronger, healthier body of Christ, one workout, one believer, and one church at a time. So if that is you, you have found your place, and I want to say welcome on in. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you are new here as well, we do have a Christian fat loss e-guide that goes over everything that's discussed in this video into very detailed programming, in addition to a whole workout split and nutrition guidance just for $23. So be sure to go grab it down below in the description box. Now let's get into the video. So if I were new to the gym, the first recommendation that I would give to somebody that's just starting out is go to the gym 3 times a week and do full body workouts. So instead of trying to do a traditional bodybuilding split of 5 or 6 days out of the week and doing like chest and tri and back and bi and then doing glutes and hamstrings, if you are just getting started in the gym or you're just short on time, it's better to go to the gym 3 times a week and have a laser focused workout than to try to go 5-6 times a week and do the workouts half-heartedly, or you're wasting time, or that you're always skipping workouts. The reason why I say do full body is because think of it this way. If you're always doing body part splits and you're not being consistent in the gym, you can miss a whole body part if you end up skipping that day because of work, or maybe you were tired or you weren't feeling well, or something happens with the kids and you just cannot make it to the gym. As opposed to doing full body workouts, every single session you are hitting all your major muscle groups at least once during that session, which means that even if you were to miss a day, you would still be hitting those muscle groups at least once or twice that week. Because if you do 3 times a week, let's say you were to hypothetically miss one day, you still hit all your major muscle groups that week twice. So you're going to have a great pump. You are going to see more effective results. And also, when you're doing full body, you're always incorporating legs, you're incorporating chest, back, and you can also add some of those accessory movements that focus on those smaller muscles like your biceps and your shoulders and other things of that sort, which will also help you develop the physique that you want. It's more time efficient, and you are also getting more bang for your buck in terms of calorie burn, and you don't have to show up into the gym as much as if you were trying to go to the gym 5 or 6 days a week. I am not against a 5-6 day a week split. I have done that multiple times. I love it, but we are talking for the average person who does not have all the time in the world to go to the gym 6 days a week. So that would be my first tip for you. My second tip is, when you are designing these workout programs, would be to have anywhere between 4 to 6 solid exercises within the workout, and that is excluding the warm-up. So if you are going to incorporate some sort of warm-up, whether it's going to be a cardio warm-up of like walking or cycling, or maybe even using a skier, there's different equipment that you can use, or some stretches for your warm-up, I would not include those exercises as a part of the warm-up. So outside of the warm-up that you're going to be doing, I would say just pick a solid 4 to 6 exercises that are compound movements. So when I say compound, they are targeting multiple muscle groups at the same time, that are going to be able to get you the most bang for your buck, and then just increase your sets or reps for those exercises. So sometimes instead of doing 3 sets, you can do 4 or even 5, depending on the type of exercise like you're doing. For example, if you were doing deadlifts or a hip thrust and you're going really heavy, you want to do warm-up sets. So you'll end up doing a little bit extra more sets than you traditionally would for something that's a little bit more lighter weight or not as compound. And the reason why I say 4 to 6 exercises is because, one, that's going to help keep your workout within that 1 hour time frame so that you're in and out. And then 2, Also, sometimes people will pack up their workouts with so many exercises, but they half-heartedly do all the exercises. So I would rather you laser focus on 4 to 6 exercises that you give it your all and you go all out, and then to try to just half-heartedly do the other ones, right? You are going to see better results that way. And then when it comes time to switching up your programming, you'll have more exercises to experiment with after the set number of weeks that you're doing that program for. All right, so the next tip is to find a form of cardio that you love, okay? I have been loving running, and it's something that I've had to work my way up to doing. And when I first started out, I sucked at it. And now I'm not an expert by any means, but I definitely can run 3 miles in one go and feel okay afterwards. And I actually enjoy it. But you do not have to be a runner. Just find a form of cardio that works best for you and stick to it and implement it into your routine. So there are so many different forms of cardio. Whether you want to run, you can walk, you can do jump roping, you can go on the elliptical machine, which is such an underrated machine. And if your gym is always busy, then I would really recommend going on the elliptical, because most times people really don't use it and they don't realize how much of a slept on machine it is, because when you're doing the elliptical, it is incorporating all parts of your body. Because if you're using the part where your hands are going, your legs are going at the same time, you're working your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, your arms, everything is being engaged. And if you do it properly, even your core will be engaged as well. So you can also do cycling if you'd like. They have the rower, the skier. There's so many different forms of cardio that you can try and mix and match. And I also recommend, especially before you get into certain workouts, incorporating just a little bit of cardio just to warm up your body. So even if it's just 5-10 minutes of something. Also forgot, if you like the Stairmaster, you can do that as well. But incorporating some form of cardio to kind of warm up those areas in your body right before you go into your workout. And just 5 minutes is enough, in addition to doing some form of stretching and mobility. Mobility is very important, especially as, you know, we're moving our joints and we're getting older. We have to make sure that we are mobile, because that's the point of this. What does it give if we are super fit but we don't have any mobility as well? So that is something that I would definitely say prioritize. But once you find that cardio, I would say try implementing it at least 3 to 5 times a week. And if it works best for you, you can add the cardio right after you finish your full body workouts, and bam, there you go. That you just killed 2 birds in 1 stone, and you don't have to go to the gym multiple times within that week. You can just stick to your 3 times a week. The next tip that I would give you is daily walks. So this is on the days that you go to the gym, and even on the days that you do not go to the gym. Implementing walking is the easiest way to maintain weight loss, or just maintain the physique that you're desiring, and just overall daily health. Because in a society where all we do most of the times is drive to and from work, and we're not commuting that much, especially if you live in like the southern states or a rural area or a suburb area, most of the times you're not taking public transportation. So you're getting in your car. And then if you work a desk job, then you're sitting at home all the time, or sitting at your desk on the couch, and we're not moving. And I don't know if you guys ever heard this term, but it's called sitting is the new smoking. So meaning a lot of the illnesses and stuff we have are a direct correlation to the fact that we are very sedentary as a people now. So I would really recommend either doing AM walks or PM walks. I love going for walks in the morning because it's a great way to start my day, and I feel like I've accomplished something early in the morning. I use it as my prayer walks as well, my quiet time with God. I pray, I read my Bible as I'm walking, and I love to go by the lake and just enjoy some time there. But you can walk on your treadmill if you have one at home, or your walking pad, and watching TV, watching motivational podcasts, something. I always recommend at least doing it outdoors, because you get that vitamin D, that sunlight, especially as we're transitioning into the winter months. A lot of us, this daylight saving is going to happen, and we're going to start to lack vitamin D a lot, especially if we're not getting enough sunlight. So what better way to do that than by going outside and going for a walk? And it just helps clear your mind. It just helps you find peace, and so many benefits of just being outside sometimes. So recommending those walks, and the walks can be anywhere between 20 to 45 minutes, depending on how much time you have. I usually try to walk at least 2 miles every walk. If I can walk some more, then great. But I can usually knock out 2 miles in about 35 to 40 minutes. And then I'll go about my my day and start that way. So I would really recommend that you do that. And that is a great way to even reach your 10K step goal. So I know you guys have heard the 10K steps, which is a great number and also a tip that I would say for your walking. If you can aim for 10K steps a day, that is amazing. And the best way you can do that is just by incorporating 2 30 to 45 minute walks a day. So one in the morning and one in the evening. And if you can't do it that way, then what you can do is now break up the walks and maybe let's just say 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, do one during your lunch break and whenever you have the time to walk. And if you also want to get more steps in, I would just say even around the house, if you notice that you're on your phone scrolling on TikTok on the couch, while you're scrolling on TikTok, get up and just start walking around the house. That will help you get more steps in. And there's so many other ways that we can get more steps. I can make a whole other video on that if you guys would like. Just comment down below. The next tip that I would recommend is your nutrition. So you cannot out train a bad diet, but for so long. So yes, you can eat horrible, and for some time you probably can get away with it, but at some point you're gonna have to hone in on your nutrition. So I would recommend, if you do not or don't want to start right off the bat tracking macros, just start cutting out the junk food. Just start cutting out a lot of the processed stuff that you're eating. So if you're eating a lot of fast food, a lot of the proper name brands and the popular chains of fast food, if you're always eating that, you're always getting DoorDash, always getting Uber Eats and all those stuff, just simply cutting that out will not only save you money, but will also help you eat healthier. And I also just recommend, if you're not someone who wants to track macros right away, I would say that also just opt for foods that have one ingredient, right? Or minimal ingredients as possible. So things that have one ingredient, fruits, vegetables, rice just has one ingredient, and things of that sort. And even if you do want to get something that's like a snack, aiming for a snack that does not have a huge laundry list of ingredients, because most of the times those ingredients are super processed. And I would recommend when you go to the grocery store, start being more aware of the nutrition label and what is on there, and just kind of seeing like, oh my goodness, what are these ingredients that are in here? Google up the ingredient and see what the ingredients are, because you will start to look at food differently and realize that majority of the food that's in the grocery store, especially the packaged foods, are horrible for us. And I am convinced that they're low-key just trying to take us out. And a great app that you can use for this is the Yuka app. I'll plug it somewhere here. And basically what you can do is when you go to the grocery store, you can back out the camera and scan the app, and it will basically show you the rating of the food that you're about to eat. And it'll tell you, like, if it has, I think, a score of 60 or above, or 65 or above, then it's considered a good food. But anything lower than that is considered poor. And it tells you why the food is bad quality. So it'll show you the ingredients that are bad for you, and it will tell you what the ingredients are tied to, whether it's like breast cancer or kidney disease. There's so many different ingredients that are in our food that have so many correlations to illnesses that we should not be eating and should not be in our food, which is crazy. So I definitely incorporate that. And I would really say this is something that you have to be active on, because your health is in your hands, right? So you have to make the due diligence to make better decisions, because if you just go with the flow and don't really look into these stuff, you will never realize how much a lot of our foods are slowly causing us to deteriorate and take us away. And if you want more about nutrition, I have what I eat in a day videos on my channel already, and how to track macros. So just go watch those videos for a more detailed overview of that information. The last and final tip that I would give for someone who's just starting out in the gym is just that you have to be patient. You have to be patient with this process. And I know oftentimes we'll see people that post on social media and say that they lost X amount of pounds in 30 days, which is great. I am not negating their process, but I'm a coach and I work with clients, and we have to understand that our lifestyles are going to be a very direct correlation to the way that we see progress. So if it might take you a little bit longer to get the routine down packed. It might take you a little bit longer to get consistent with your gym routine. You might fall off and then get back on, right? Things might happen in the process because life is going to go on, but you need to understand that this is your individual journey, and you do not have to be concerned about how somebody else did it, and just kind of getting over that mindset of thinking that everything has to happen right away. Think of it as a slow cook, right? When you slow cook something, it usually comes out way better versus if you just try to put it in the microwave. And we live in a microwave society, and I really just want to encourage you that this fitness game is not a microwave game, okay? It's going to take time and dedication, and you are going to reap the rewards by remaining consistent, because usually, you know how to say slow and steady wins the race. Well, yes, in this case, it's kind of a good thing in a way, because you now create it as a lifestyle. Because there's been countless of times that I've had clients come to me and they told me that in the past, when maybe they did something on their own, they lost 50 pounds in 2 months and then they gained it all back. Why did they gain it back? Because they did not take the time to build it into a lifestyle. They were doing all these crazy fad diets, and they were doing all these extremes that they were not going to be able to maintain in the long term, and they did not really build the discipline that they needed in order to see the results that they were going to have to see, like in order to see the long-term sustainable results. And we are doing this so that we can sustain this for 10, 15 years down the line. This is not something that you want to do for 2 months just to go all out, and then after that you can't maintain it. So this is why, like, this approach is very practical, and I really want to give this PSA to you to encourage you. Like, look, I know people are spewing all this stuff, but don't get upset when you feel like, oh, it's only been 2 weeks and you feel like you haven't seen a crazy change, or it's only been a month. I really tell people, like, dedicate at least 6 months to a year of consistency before you start saying, okay, this thing is not for me. And you also have to realize, a lot of people that we see in the gym, these like big influencers, stuff like that, they've been working out for at least 2, 3, 4, 5 years for them to get that physique. So you have to understand that it's going to take time, and you're looking at somebody else's day, year 3, comparing it to your week number 5. Like, that don't make no sense, right? And I really just kind of want to encourage you to stay committed on the process. And I always recommend, like, if you need help and you don't know how to go about it, get help. Get somebody who's experienced that can help you kind of reduce the time frame a little bit, because if you work with people that already have the knowledge or have been where you are, they help reduce that friction and time frame. So these are just some of my practical tips that I have for if I were a beginner in the gym again. What would I want to know? Like, no fluff, no extra, none of that other stuff. And if you want a part 2 of this video, please let me know, because I have so many other things that I could share in terms of what I wish I knew, even just kind of running you guys through different workouts that I would do as a beginner. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like and comment down below, and go check out my other videos on this channel where we talk about just nutrition, what I eat in a days, and let me know other contents that you would like to see as well. And be sure, if you want to go grab our Christian Fat Loss ebook. So it has everything that you need to jumpstart your journey, and it's just $23. But if you want to, if not, just follow us on our social media platforms. That I am Johannah on Instagram, it's Johannah on TikTok, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.